Hi, welcome to your daily Bible story of the day here in the channel of Bible Stuff. Today's portion of Bible Stuff is gonna be the Bible's version of Shrek. It's a story about a man and his donkey, except there were two donkeys and the two donkeys got lost. And then he had to go look for the donkeys and the whole story is about him looking for donkeys. This movie has absolutely nothing to do with Shrek. Anyways, I feel like this story is often overlooked because it's short. It's just a little chapter and it's just kind of there. But honestly, to people like me who don't exactly have everything figured out, this story is just, it's just a splash of hope, man. I mean, it's a story of this guy who was a nobody. He was just somebody who was living off the land with his family, and then out of nowhere, he loses his donkeys. So just to give you an idea of how important donkeys were to somebody that was living off the land, that's like if your job was fixing things and one day you woke up and all your power tools were missing. Yeah, it was a pretty dire situation. His livelihood depended completely on those donkeys. And if he didn't have those donkeys, his future was in danger. So immediately when he found out that those donkeys were missing, he went to go look for them. Now it's important to note that in this period of time of Israel, Israel had no king. It was just ruled by an old prophet that just told people what to do. Because back then, that's what God did. He would just pick somebody and he was like, poof! And then those people, those people would rule over Israel and tell Israel what to do. So that's kind of the time period that Israel was living in. But anyways, he went, he looked for the donkeys, he looked up, he looked down, he looked sideways. Wait, no, that's up. Sideways is this way. He looked everywhere, he looked in the mountains, the valleys, the rivers. He went all around the area that he could possibly walk to until he was finally like, all right, we didn't find the donkeys. My parents must be worried sick about me. I have to make it back home. We couldn't find the donkeys. But just as he gave up, one of the people that was there helping him look for those donkeys turned to him and was like, hey, isn't Israel ruled by some prophet? Maybe you can go to the prophet and he can tell you where your donkeys are at. And this man, not having any more options left, was like, all right, let's go look for the prophet. Maybe he can help me out. Maybe he can give me some clue as to where my donkeys are. And he shows up to the prophet's door, and the prophet opens the door, and he takes him in, and he takes him to this room full of people. Well, I don't know how many people there were. There were probably like 5 or 6 people. I don't know. Does it really specify? I don't know if the Bible specifies, but he takes him to this room, and it has people in there, and there's a table, and there's food on the table, and there's a seat, and he sits them in the seat, and he's like, eat, for this is what was reserved for you. And then he picks him up and he anoints him the next king, or the first king of Israel. Plot twist, T or whatever the kids say these days. You see, the name of this man was Saul. Now, unbeknownst to Saul, while all this donkey looking was going on, Israel, the whole nation of Israel was asking and praying and nagging to God. We're tired of you putting prophets that just poof and they tell us what to do. We're tired of that. We want to be like the rest of the nations who have, an actual government, who have a king. We want to be like them. We want a king. Give us a king, God. And the prophet was like, well, God, what are we going to do? I don't know where the king is. How am I going to choose a king? And God was like, I got you, son. God was like, all right, look, don't worry about it. I got just the man for you. Just give me a couple days and I'm gonna bring this man straight to your door and you're gonna make that man king. And next thing you know, Saul loses his donkeys and that expedition takes him straight to the prophet's door. I absolutely love this story because what looks like a terrible situation where you feel absolutely lost, it's precisely the act of being lost that takes you directly to the path that God wanted you to walk, to find the one thing that God wanted you to find. God works in honestly more mysterious ways than the Force. Saul's story began when he lost those donkeys. And that's the story of how Saul became king. It all started with being lost. One moment you're lost and the next you bump into a gold mine. You bump into being king. You bump into this incredible situation that you could have never imagined, that normally you would not be able to get to if you hadn't been lost. So learn to look at being lost through a different lens and say, hey, this isn't the end. This isn't how my story ends. This isn't how everything implodes. This isn't how I lose. This is where my story begins. So there you have it. That's the story of how Saul and his donkeys. Saul and his donkeys. Look at the name of a band. So that's the story of Saul and his donkeys, the Christmas story. Although it doesn't really have anything to do with Christmas, but it gives you hope. So I guess it serves the same purpose of Christmas, sort of, kind of, right? But hey, if you like the story and you want some more videos or want to stay updated with when I upload, I'm gonna start uploading now. You know, I took a little period off, you know, just kind of like a year or two. I had to find my donkeys. I had to find exactly what God wanted me to find, but I found it. So now I'm back. And that's the first story that I went with. But anyways, give us a like, give us a follow, a subscribe down below in the big red button. You'll see it. Just stay updated. It'll help us out a lot to know how many people want more videos like this. And feel free to comment if you like this style, you want a different style. I'm happy to know that what can make the video a lot more watchable for everyone else. So yeah, have a good day. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And yeah, I'll see you next time I upload. Bye.